Peace, love, and black empowerment. You are tuned into the Mile High News Channel, Denver's first station for news and entertainment that is for us and by us. With your hosts, Noble Turner, Sharif Aline, Chairman Seku, and Jesse Paris. Welcome. Peace, love, and black empowerment. Welcome back to Mile High News, family. It's great to see y'all again, and it's great to be seen. And I just want to thank you guys for the support. I want to thank you guys for all the the comments and the thank yous and everything. We really appreciate that, y'all. First, I want to talk about the land that we've acquired and to let you know the upcoming events for that. So me and the team, we have acquired 30 acres of land, and I'm going to be showing you guys a lot more of that coming up on this channel. But just know that we're here to do it. We're walking it and we're not talking it. So stay tuned to that. And we're really happy about it too, man. We've tried this. Well, I've tried. Me and my team, we've tried for at least about almost 3 years to get it. You know what I'm saying? So it's finally here. We had a great brother that donated it to us, and he's on the same level that we are at. He's ready to build like we are. So we're going to get it in. So stay tuned for that. And me, I'm about economic empowerment. So last week I started the Black Business of the Week, and here's it again. Mile High News, Black Business of the Week. All right, peace and love, fam. We back here for our Black Business of the Week. This week we have our sister Shay and Shay's Natural Beauty Supply. I've been knowing the sister for a while. She is a great businesswoman. She went from a small shop in the Soul Center. All my people from Denver and Aurora know where the Soul Center was at. And now she's got her own spot. So come on in. Let's talk to her and see what she's got going on. All right, fam. We're here with our sister Sabrina. And she is the co-founder and manager of Shay's Beauty Supply. And she's going to tell you a little bit about what the vision is and what they're trying to do with Shay's.
So we've been open for almost 3 years now. In April, it'll be 3 years. Our vision is to help women love their hair again. We educate them here in the store on different techniques on how to take care of their hair, and some things for the future we're hoping to franchise.
All right, definitely. So this is our Black Business of the Week. Thank you. Okay, yes, definitely, fam. Y'all make sure, if we put these businesses on here, especially here in Denver, fam, if we put these businesses on and you do go to them, let them know that Mile High News sent you. You know what I'm saying? So, let them, we're trying to do something. We're trying to empower black businesses here. So make sure y'all tune in and make sure that y'all go support them businesses, man, Not really saying that, the businesses are doing bad, but they need more of us there. You know what I'm saying? These businesses are focused on us, especially Shay's. You know what I'm saying? She specializes in black women's hair care. You know what I'm saying? And being married for 13 years and together, and with my wife for 22 years, I know how important women's hair is. So y'all go support Shay, and thank you to the sister again. And next up, I want to introduce our brother Kevin, and he is going to be speaking on STEM. Now, if you guys don't know what STEM is, it is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
But it's more than that. STEM has grown to represent a unique approach to teaching and learning, one that centers around individual students' learning styles and interests. This means STEM education has something to offer every student. Unlike traditional education experiences in which subject areas are concentrated on separately, STEM education emphasizes technology and integrates subjects in ways that connect disciplines and relate them to each other. So why is STEM getting so much attention? STEM moves beyond simple test performance and focuses on developing higher-level thinking skills by connecting classroom learning to the real world. STEM emphasizes collaboration, communication, research, problem-solving, critical thinking, and creativity, skills that students need to be successful in today's world regardless of specific interests or career goals. STEM is a direct response to the realization that our future will be built on our capacity for innovation, invention, and creative problem solving. Unfortunately, the United States is falling behind internationally, ranked 17th in science and 25th in mathematics among industrialized nations. It will become more and more difficult to remain competitive in the global economy. However, as a result of STEM implementation over the last decade, the number of 4th grade students performing at or above basic levels in math has grown almost 30%. The evidence is out there, and it points to STEM education being a vital part in the future of the American education system and our ability to effectively train future global innovators and world leaders.
And Brother Kevin's going to let us know on the importance of taking STEM courses for our youth and even for our adults, and how technology affects us in our everyday life. So, Brother Kevin?
All right, well, I appreciate it, Brother Noble, and shout out to Mile High News for having me on this evening. I just wanted to stress the importance of STEM as we move from the industrial age that we've been in for a while into the technology age that we've kind of already been in for quite a long time. I truly believe that retraining in certain courses, computer science, advanced mathematics, engineering of any sort, or technology, network engineering, cybersecurity, are definitely needed for the progression of our community. We don't have enough of us in those fields, and unfortunately, as times move on and we advance further into artificial general intelligence and away from artificial intelligence, jobs are going to move away. So in order to stay employable in this here decade, you're going to have to retrain. They're saying artificial general intelligence be here by the year of 2022. I believe we're already in that age, just because I noticed on my Google Home yet the other day that it alerted me that the traffic to my job was 15 minutes. So it would only take me 15 minutes. Now, how does my Google Home know that?
How does it know that?
How does it?
I've always wondered that.
How does it know that around this time that I'm leaving? Because we've moved from artificial intelligence into artificial general intelligence, and that's the Internet of Things. You hear a lot of talk about 5G, which allows the Internet of Things, and the Internet of Things is just your devices talking to one another. So my phone obviously was talking to my Google Home to let my Google Home know that around this time I leave for work and that my commute would be 15 minutes. So that's why I believe that we're already in the phase of artificial general intelligence. The cost of tuition at your state colleges are increasing. The hours at your job will be decreasing because of the advancement of technology. Unfortunately, a lot of people in a lot of careers here in the next decade will no longer be employable because you're not needed in this time. So that's the focus of retraining in trades. If you feel like college isn't for you, I believe college is for everyone. It's just how you apply yourself. But if you feel like that's not the route for you, I suggest trades. But definitely getting out of the phase of manufacturing on the low level And I mean low level as in like stocking cashiers, stuff like that, and maybe bumping up that skill to get into maybe like a machinist or learning how this technology is working. I also feel like technology is definitely going to have effect in your communities. As we move into, like I said, artificial general intelligence, and then we start to move into what they call artificial super intelligence. That's where all the information that AI has gathered will now start using complex algorithms, which algorithms are pretty much like your daily habits. My algorithm is what told Google Home that I was leaving at this point in time every day. So as algorithms grow and you input your data into these devices, they start to learn more about you in your everyday life. They eventually know more about you than you know about yourself. For instance, there was an issue with Target where a young lady was under the age, I think she was 13 or 14. It's been a while, but Target was able, through their algorithms, to know that this young lady was pregnant before she knew she was pregnant. And that was because of the things that she was buying. She went from scented shampoos and conditioners, body soaps, to unscented. She started buying different types of foods. And however, Target's algorithm started sending her father advertisement for baby stuff. And he didn't know, what was going on. And he finally, confronted Target about it. And she took a pregnancy test, and lo and behold, she was pregnant. That's where we were 15 years ago. Okay. So now you look at where we're at in the new decade. You could only imagine, and that'll go into anything in your everyday life. The cars that you drive, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about is that driving is a privilege. It's not a law.
Not right.
So keep that in mind as the advancements of cars move forward. The price of vehicles. What type of vehicles need to be on the road. You need to keep that in mind because all that has to do with technology. And all I could say is for the youth is to start asking questions about technology. Even at elementary to middle school, parents look into what public schools are offering STEM courses. I know for a fact that Holly Hills in Cherry Creek offers STEM courses, as my son just completed in the 5th grade, 11-year-old certificate. Shout out to you, Preston. The Hour of Code, demonstrating an understanding of the basic concepts of computer science. So definitely
at 11 years old.
At 11 years old.
Shout out to the little brother. Yeah.
So, that's where we're heading. Definitely, really get on the ball as tuition is going up. Jobs are paying less. There's a crunch on the economy, and you really need to focus on retraining to be employable in this decade. And that's the question everyone should ask themselves is how can I be employable in this new decade? Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, Brother Kevin. Yeah, that's right, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Because I always wondered that too. And another thing is when you're, if your phone is around and you're talking about something like I was seeing on there, the lady kept on talking about cat food. And her husband was like, yeah, we need cat food. And then the daughter was something about cat food. And then like maybe a day or 2-3 days later, they had all kind of advertisement and stuff coming up about cat food. I mean, that's some spooky shit, man.
Yeah, it's the input.
I know my wife's gonna be watching this. She'll be like, I told you.
Yeah, it's definitely the input, that you put into your devices. All that data is, stored and then sold to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with
and
technology.
sometimes that highest bidder is the wrong bidder. They
Correct.
could be, what I'm saying, especially with all this child trafficking and stuff going on. I mean, they can figure out your habits. And you never know, y'all. That's how they're maybe snatching these kids up and getting opportunities to do it. So, yeah, definitely, man. And Yeah, that's crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. I just got to thinking about both of them. Like, ain't that him? Yeah. Thank you, Brother Terrence, for sure. Thank you, definitely. All right, so next up we got our brother Jesse. He's going to be talking about our brother Cory Baker dropping off. And the Parchmen prison, the unsanitary conditions there, there's a lot going on there. You guys need to look that up. And the Denver Urban Camping Ban, Brother Jesse.
Yes, thank you, Brother Noble. So, family, as I predicted, just like with Kamala Harris, Cory Booker has dropped out of the 2020 presidential race. Now, there is no so-called people of color running to be the next president of the United States. And we're still demanding our tangibles. This is still tangibles 2020. We still are demanding our tangibles. If they want the black vote, they're gonna have to produce tangibles. Cory Booker seeing that the baby bonus was not gonna work. Just like Kamala Harris found out that saying that you're not gonna do anything specifically for black folks is not gonna work. So now we're down to Joe the bigot Biden, Bernie the bigot Sanders, Elizabeth pretending wannabe Indian Warren, Tom Sire, some billionaire, Pete Buttigieg, the lettuce, bacon, and tomato advocate, and Amy Klobuchar or something like that. Anyway, if any of these candidates want our votes, they're going to have to produce tangibles. They're going to have to produce a black agenda. They're going to have to do something specifically for black folks. Not immigrants, not so-called people of color, not minorities, not multiculturalism, specifically for black folks. Foundational black Americans, American descendants of slavery. So that was that topic. So now I'm going to transition to another topic that should be of utmost concern to anybody watching, especially if you're black, which is the Parchmen prison in Mississippi. The conditions in this prison are beyond atrocious. It's third world conditions that our brothers and sisters that are in there, mainly our brothers, it's 3,000 inmates that's in there, are dealing with on a daily basis. They're dealing with flooding, they're dealing with no running water, they're dealing with shitty water, shit coming out of the pipe when they go to get a drink of water. There's no water that comes out, and if the water does come out, it's brown and just very disgusting. There's brown mold, black mold all over the prison. There's rats and roaches, flies and mosquitoes. The sinks are clogged. There's holes in the wall. The prison is literally falling apart. This prison's been around since 1901, and it's in desperate need of repair. So now people like Jay-Z and others are filing federal lawsuits against the federal government for the traditions that are happening in this prison. Now, this prison is in the Jim Crow South. The warden and the governor could care less. They're a bunch of racist white supremacists, and they don't care about the conditions that's happening to their mainly black inmates that are in this prison. So in the past month, family, 5 inmates have died, been killed. They allowed the gangs to basically kill people, set them up, and have them killed. And then I just heard recently that somebody hung themselves in their cell because they just got tired of living in this hellhole. And their body just sat there for 10 days. And then finally they had some inmates wrap them up in a blanket and remove them from the cell. This is ridiculous. It's 2020 and we're still dealing with this in 2020. This is something that you would see in like the 19-teens or the 1920s or 1800s, 1700s. Not in 2020, but this is what we're dealing with, family. And because this is a majority black prison, nobody is batting an eye, nobody cares about it. So we have to care about it, and we have to stress that these prisons that are in horrible disrepair like this need to be completely shut down and condemned, because there's no reason why these prisons should even still be open. And the inmates there are making 20 cents a day. That's all they're making, working on a chain gang. It's one of those chain gang type prisons. And like I said, it was built in 1901, and Unit 32 has been completely condemned. ACLU,
American Civil Liberties.
yes, civil liberties is looking into this as well. This is a complete violation of the inmates' Eighth Amendment rights, cruel and unusual punishment, family. So all those watching, make sure you check this out. Look into it. It's all over the media now because the brothers and sisters in the jail were able to get access to cell phones, so they were able to record this and get this out to the world. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a clue what's going on. So a lot of times we think out of sight, out of mind with our folks that are locked down, but we cannot think that because just because they're in this prison doesn't mean that they're still not human beings, that they still don't need to be taken care of. And we need to stop with this, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. A lot of these people that are in this prison are in there for nonviolent offenses. They're not in there for murder. They're not in there for rape or robbery. They're in there for simple drug possession. So we need to keep all that in mind before we say ignorant stuff like, oh, well, if you didn't do the crime, then you wouldn't have to do the time. And if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. These prisons should be condemned. We shouldn't have prisons anymore. And they keep telling us that we're free, but as you can clearly see, family, you are not free. And prison is just a greater form of confinement. And last and certainly not least, my last topic is the Denver urban camping ban repeal. So for all those watching, in 2012, the Denver City and County City Council, and along with the mayor's office, passed the inhumane law known as the urban camping ban, which makes it illegal for you to survive on the streets. You could be arrested, ticketed, or harassed for covering yourself with a tarp, a sleeping bag, a blanket, a tent. Anything besides your own clothing is deemed illegal in the city and county of Denver. So on December 27th of last year, a Denver County judge ruled this urban camping ban unconstitutional, saying that it violated people's Eighth Amendment rights. That is cruel and unusual punishment. So since that time, the city has lied and said that, they have not been enforcing the camping ban. Now, last week alone, I documented at least 2 sweeps that occurred within a 2-3 block radius in East Denver, in and around Sonny Lawson Park, 25th in California, and also on 22nd between Park Avenue and 22nd and Stout. These sweeps are still continuing, and today the Denver Post and other media outlets have wrote articles saying that the camping ban is going to be back reinforced sometime this week. It just says sometime this week. But that means that at any given time, day or night, our unhoused neighbors, which is what we're calling the homeless people, because they're still part of the community, they're just unhoused, could be swept and moved along like cattle and trash at any given moment, day or night. So we need to stay vigilant of this family, because majority of the people that are unhoused on the streets of Denver are black people. Because we've been gentrified, ethnically cleansed out of our communities, the rent is too high. We cannot afford the rent anymore. So now a lot of us are ending up on the streets. Thank you.
That's right, man. And yeah, to go back to that that prison, man, they're trying to reenact slavery. You know what I'm saying? Slavery was not abolished. It was just transformed. You know what I'm saying? So we have to really watch this, man. And even just like Brother Jesse said, just because they're in jail doesn't mean they still ain't human. You know what I'm saying? And we already pretty much are at the bottom of the totem pole. So, you know what I'm saying? Anytime we see this, we need to speak out against it. So, that's why I built this platform, so we can speak out about stuff. Because you don't hear about none of this in the news. Even though it might be all over social media and stuff, it's not no big thing on MSNBC or Fox or anything. I haven't seen it. So yeah, definitely, man. So in the news, we got coming up Seku's Corner. Brother Seku.
All right, here we go. A couple of things. One, I was listening to a speech by Dr. King today, and it's still relevant today, what he was talking about, and that was as European society and civilization advances itself and becomes smarter in terms of how to do things in a more quote-unquote effective way. In the process of that, the development of their hearts and soul has returned to barbarism. And it seems as if the smarter folks get, the dumber they act. For instance, with this IT thing. Now, I'm a social change agent, okay? And because I know you've been watching me back then and today, now you're getting slicker with it. See? And see, when they dropped that bomb in Iran on that man over there that was doing what he was supposed to be doing, somebody high IT created that, and they were sitting there and pushed the button without no ethics. How could you do that? How could you do that and you know what you're doing and you do it anyway because that's what you're paid to do? See? And he talked about how folks are real focused on how to make a living and get a job, and yet they don't have no clue about what is the value of human life. And the easiest thing to do is to go get some money. That's easy. See? And you can lose money and go get some more money, but see, when you lose your life, there ain't no getting none of that back. See? And when you participate in a conspiracy to do murder, whether you know it or not, according to the law, there is no excuse for ignorance of the law, no matter what. And it was against the law for them to do that, and they did it anyway, because they have power to do that. And then in the process, with all this IT and stuff, and focusing on your money, and making a living so you can have a certain lifestyle, you're going to exchange your soul and your principles and value for a depreciating asset called money. See, the dollar ain't never been worth $1.01. And now it's down to purchasing power of 13 cents. So what does that make you, man? How can you look at yourself in the mirror and find out that you have turned yourself inside out and you've gone straight up to the caveman? You like Fred Flintstone, driving down the street using your feet for brakes. And it's cartoon time. And when you look at the other things that we're talking about, all these things that we're talking about in terms of Cory Booker dropping out of the race. Hey, folks, first thing you had to do was drop in. And you can't get in if you ain't got no money, so what are you doing? See? And what you lying about? See? Because you lie so much you can't even grow hair on that bald head, trying to bring game. See? And all that people of color, they just reversed the name. It used to be called colored people or colored folk. And now everybody's using that as a slogan because now your backward booty don't know the difference between your asshole and your appetite. I'm talking about for real. You know what I'm saying? No, don't put me as no colored folks on the reverse. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't going back to that. So you can stop the game right now as if folks can't read and write. See? So we have what Curtis Mayfield called miseducated fools that are coming out of miseducated schools. And so as you get smart with it, where's your principles and value with it? If someone tells you to drop a drone and you know how to do it, are you going to do it? Or are you going to abort the program and then turn it around and drop it on the one that told you to drop it? Because you have that ability. And you know how to do it without going to jail. And so there's a boomerang effect to everything you do. We're talking about prison system. Come on, man. For real? Parchmen prison? Gang changing? Are you kidding me? And then folks up in there dying? For real? Since when did you get sentenced to a death sentence for a misdemeanor called spitting on the sidewalk and get 16 years? See? And now it's become normal. And so Dr. King said, take the risk of not being normal. Abnormal in this insanity is sanity. And so he challenged us to be abnormal. Don't go along with the program. Because when it's all said and done at the end, so you got to face what you did in your life. And you got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and ask this question on a daily basis: who am I? And if you can't answer that, then time's out. and it's over. It's done.
Yes, sir.
Period. Y'all feel me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Y'all feel me? So now, deal, what we gonna have? Raw bacon or cooked bacon? No matter what, it's got a worm in it.
That's right, definitely. You know, that's our Mile High News' brother Seku. So yes, definitely, family. Make sure that y'all tune in next week. We're gonna have the Sister Circle. Make sure you like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe on our Facebook. Make sure you hit the Cash App. We always accept donations at our Cash App, $Mile High News. Peace.
Power.